Organizational patterns are the ways that writers structure their ideas, and it can be really helpful as a reader to review the organizational pattern that an author is using so you can directly link how ideas are connected. Likewise, as a writer, it can be really helpful for your reader if you're explicit about the connection between the ideas that you're sharing. Understanding patterns and structures can also be known as rhetorical modes because it's the method that an author uses to deliver information. Patterns can help you anticipate thoughts and ideas, focus, remember, and recall, so it can improve your comprehension. It can also help you write more coherent paragraphs so your reader doesn't have to guess what you're trying to say. The different types of organization that we talk about in this class are illustration, definition, and classification, chronological and process, cause and effect, and compare and contrast. You're probably the most familiar with chronological and compare and contrast. In this presentation, we'll be going over each of these types of organization and talking about the transitional phrases that will help you connect your ideas in a paragraph. Illustration is all about illustrating or describing the idea that you're trying to convey. This uses transitional phrases like, for example. For instance, to illustrate, an example is, such as, also, in particular, when. Basically, anytime the author is adding more information for the reader, you can tell that they're using the illustration pattern. For chronological and process, this is the kind of pattern that you would use if you're writing a recipe, or you're trying to explain how something has happened over time. Therefore, you use transitional words such as after, as soon as, before, during, finally, first, following, last, later, meanwhile, next, etc. Any transitional phrases that have to do with time or order indicate chronological and process. For definition, you're looking for all of the words that tell you it is what it means, that it refers to or can be defined as. If it gives you synonyms or another term, or it says something like it also means, then you know that the author is giving you a definition of that term. For classification, you're looking at different stages, another kind, classified as, comprises, different groups, types, and varieties. This is a very scientific pattern of organization because it helps label and identify different parts of more complex systems. Cause and effect indicates that there's a direct relationship between one event and another event. So this could be because, as a result, due to, therefore, thus, consequently, hence, results in, and since. Be careful with this one because sometimes cause and effect can be misleading. Someone might indicate that there is a certain cause that leads to a specific effect, but make sure that you evaluate their evidence for that relationship. Compare and contrast is one of the simpler ones. Compare is where you look at both and describe similarities, whereas contrast is where you look at differences. So the transitional phrases for this is both, similar, resembles, in the same way, differs, unlike, however, as opposed to, on the other hand, indicating all kinds of contradictory and similar patterns. Hopefully this presentation has helped you figure out organizational patterns and shown you ways that you can improve your reading comprehension and your writing.